Saturday afternoon in bustling downtown Denver, and a lot of folks maybe making their way from Sports Authority Field over to Coors Field. Little football, little baseball, double duty today. The Rockies taking on the Padres, game 2 of this 3-game set. Game 1 went the way of San Diego last night by a count of 5-4. Well, good evening, everybody. Hope you're enjoying the weekend thus far. With George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman.
Well, a lot of CSU fans are enjoying the weekend.
The folks in green and gold are mighty happy right now. Great football game across the way. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Let's talk a little bit about Willeen Rosario, because you know what? If he was a quarterback, he'd throw the ball deep a lot.
He has been throwing it deep a lot. It's coming off of some lumbers, what's happened to Rosario, and he's been doing it at a rapid pace, particularly of late of what he's been able to do. This homestand, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs. Look at the average, 462. That's as impressive to me, because now all of a sudden he's starting to recognize the breaking ball and making them pay for making mistakes with it. Up in the strike zone, not a lot of swing and misses in this homestand, and that's a good thing.
When you hit them that far, you are allowed to watch. Even pitchers will allow it.
When they go far, you want to see how far they go.
Exactly. Well, that's part of his job, hitting the baseball. A big part of his job, as Mark Stout knows, is receiving the baseball, putting the digits down, getting on the same page with the pitcher. Mark?
And you know what? He has progressed defensively. Catching coach Jerry Weinstein told me that's primarily because he's got a lot more games behind the dish.
Experience is the best teacher, so let's say it comes from experience. But part of that experience is the time he spends with me, the time he spends with Ramon, the time he spends with Bo and Jimmy Wright. There's not one thing. It's like that old saying, it takes a village to raise a child. That's kind of what we got going here. We got a lot of people involved, and to his credit, he's been a receptive student.
So the learning curve isn't as pronounced, Drew and George, but remember, he's only 23 years old, and tonight is only his 90th game behind the plate when you combine last September and this season, guys.
Well, Mark, he's improving, and I think the best point was made by Jerry Weinstein, and that is he's a willing student. He loves to play. He wants to get better. When we return, we'll talk about Jhoulys Chacin. He's been very good since he's come back. Rockies and Padres starting the month of September. And the Rockies coming off a very nice August, their first winning month since June of last year. Most wins they've had in a month since April of last year when they got off to a very good start. Jhoulys Chacín will take the baseball. Forget the first part of the season for Jhoulys. This is start number 3 for me.
Well, let's forget about the second half of last season, too, and the first half of this one. And, yeah, start number 3 because the first two have been pretty good. 1-1, 164 earned run average. The opposition hasn't hit anything against him, just 220. And I think the biggest majority of this is utilizing 2 pitches, his sinker and his slider, and putting him in the bottom half of the strike zone. He's not allowing the ball to get elevated up into the zone where he gives up the long fly balls or big innings. And, you know, when you're around the zone, you're allowed to take it out of the zone a little bit. You're going to get swings and misses. And that was evident in the Cub game when he did actually struggle a little bit in that game compared to what he did in New York.
Well, as you're talking about, fastball command has been the difference in these first 2 games.
No question. And I think that's something that's got to continue. And hopefully other guys in that staff are watching what he's doing.
Absolutely. So the Rockies and Padres ready to go. Is Jhoulys Chacín against Edinson Volquez. Come on back to Coors Field with us. Stores Toyota moving forward by CenturyLink, fast speed, and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at Southwest.com. Beautiful shot as we move across the front range. Some low flying. Tonight, Jhoulys Chacín, as George was talking about, making his 3rd start since returning from the disabled list. And leading off once again for the Padres, the former Rocky farmhand Everett Cabrera doing a nice job at shortstop. And the rest of the lineup for Bud Black. For a team that's won 10 of their last 11, they will have Will Venable again batting 2nd. He'll be followed by Chase Headley. He had a terrific August. Carlos Quentin hit a home run last night. He'll bat cleanup. Yasmani Grandal behind the plate. Yonder Alonso with 32 doubles. He's at first. Cameron Maben scored the most important run of the night last night, the 5th run. That provided the difference in the ball game. Alexi Amarista, the only change from last night's lineup. He'll be given the start at second base. As you see Chacín warming up.
Well, you see 8 starts this season. Just kind of eliminate those. Drew and I just talked about it in the open. 34 career games versus the West. Does have a winning record. His overall career record, 21-30. But what does jump out at you is his ability to throw strikes with the fastball. He'll utilize the slider more than he will the curveball to change. And the slider will be the swing and miss, as it was for him in Chicago. At 25 starts at Coors Field, that's the qualifier among starters that have pitched in this ballpark. Chacín is second in ERA at 4.10. Ubaldo Jimenez first at 3.67, followed by De La Rosa, Cook, and Francis.
So here we go. Beautiful evening for a baseball game. The first pitch is in there for strike one at 91. Home plate umpire is Dana DeMuth. It's been an umpire since the 80s.
1985. We looked it up last night.
Yeah, 1985, his first full year. Just so people are aware, that is when you get named to the staff as a full-time umpire. A lot of guys, you'll hear their name frequently. They'll work a full slate of games, but they won't be a full-fledged major league umpire. They're working vacation time. And then when somebody retires, they get elevated officially, where they're getting benefits and so on. He went around. Cabrera's gone on 3 pitches, and a very nice start for Jhoulys Chacín. And it's a great example of what Jim Tracy always says about Chacín. If he gets ahead, he has wipeout stuff. What he means by that, George, is swing and miss stuff.
Their slider is a swing and miss slider. It's all about the speed and velocity of the arm and putting it there. Credit Rosario blocking this ball really well, too, because notice how he's leaning forward and not upright. So the chest isn't a springboard. It's more of a pillow, and it allows that ball to hit softly off the chest and stay right out in front of him. Watch the upper body here getting at angles to where he's able to drop down and bury the baseball.
Will Venable hits it high in the air to center field. Dexter's got it, and that is the second out. It's good to see Dexter in center field. He'll be flanked by Cargo and Colvin. Dexter was a late scratch yesterday. He was going to start in center field. The ankle's still a little bit tender, feeling better today, so he's out there. Nelson Rutledge, LeMahieu, Pacheco in the infield. And the guy we featured in the open, Willeen Rosario, has the gear on. Too quickly out, Chase Headley swings and fouls off the first pitch. Headley had a gorgeous August, 306 average, 10 home runs, and he drove in a major league best 31. Boy, pulled the string there.
Really good changeup. Had late fade, but what sells the changeup is your body language with your arm. If you slow down the arm or the body, it sets off a trigger to a hitter to be able to adjust to it.
0-2, and it's on the ground to second. That's a major league start right there. Economical. I don't know if he threw a ball. That was a terrific job. 7 pitches, 7 strikes. Kez, Dex with a 3 .391 on base percentage in the leadoff spot. .394 overall. .391 second best in baseball to a fellow by the name of Mike Trout. Jim Tracy will have Josh Rutledge batting second, Cargo third, Rosario fourth, Colvin, Pacheco, Nelson, DJ LeMahieu. George Pacheco putting another one of those hitting streaks together. This guy's a tough customer, George.
He really is. After the arm surgery, coming back has been very good. 5-4, you see that in his road starts, but 3-2 at Coors with an ERA under 4. You will see mostly fastballs. He likes to work the ball to the outer half of the plate. He utilizes a very good changeup, and he throws the curveball at varying speeds from 68 to 77. That's what makes it effective.
I think he has one of the 3 best changeups that we see in the National League. I don't know who else off the top of my head I'd put on the list, but if there are 2 guys or 3 guys who have a better one, I got to see it.
Well, he's also starting to get to the point where he's trusting his fastball even more. I noticed there it's only sold 50%. But he's a guy that's starting to trust the fastball. That was at 93 miles an hour. It topped at 94 the first pitch to Fowler.
1 out. Josh Rutledge coming up. With the gloves, Carlos Quentin is in left field. Cameron Maybin covers a lot of ground. Similar stride length to Dexter Fowler. Will Venables off in right field. Headley at third. Cabrera and Amarista up the middle. Yonder Alonso has committed 10 errors at first base. And the kid Yasmani Grandal behind the plate. Rutledge yesterday was 1 for 5. He had a double and scored a run.
Volquez has walked a lot of people this year. 91. The last starting pitcher to walk over 100 in a season was 103 in 2009 was Doug Davis. It's not the amount of things you would like to see in your stat sheet. You start talking about leading the league in walks. But he's able to get double play balls. He's able to.
This ball's pretty well hit to right, and it is a foul ball.
Not by much.
You know, Venable was getting ready to fire it back in. I'm not even sure Will realized it was foul.
You know, Doug Eddings, first base umpire, is going to walk it back and see. You're going to see how close this really is. Wow. I mean, when the red clay covers up the white chalk, it's pretty close.
Somebody, a good fan down that line, George, should have thrown some talcum powder in the air at the same time. Strike 3.
There's the changeup. You won't see many better than that with that kind of movement. Last couple of starts, Volquez against the Rockies. It's been pretty good for him. You see that good command of the fastball on Dexter. The changeup he utilized on Rosario, and he utilized it also on Gonzalez. You'll get a chance here again with Gonzo coming up with 2 outs in the first inning.
Volquez 2-0 against the Rockies. Cargo is 3 for 9 lifetime with a couple of RBIs against Edinson Volquez. Rockies and the Padres are putting a shift on for Cargo, and Cargo tried to bunt his way on, which is no surprise. We've seen him do that plenty of times. I mean, he may have a double if he lays it down the third base line.
I think the manager for the Padres, Bud Black, says if you want to bunt and take one, go ahead. I'd rather you do that than have the chance to have you hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Now he's going to get a base hit in that vacated area, and he may have a chance for 2. Here goes Cargo towards second. The throw is not going to get him. So a 2-out double for Gonzalez.
Fastball inner half, same type of pitch he gave Dexter that Dexter popped up. This time, though, Gonzalez really got his hands inside close to his body and was able to shoot that ball down the left field line, and then it's just the race between he and Carlos Quentin on the throw to second. '26th
double for Gonzalez. Rosario 2 for 5, including a home run against Edinson Volquez. Heater at 93, strike 1. Rosario hitting .333 over his last 10 ball games, 4 home runs. He's driven in 10. Average at .255. He keeps this up, George, in September. I don't think he wins it, but he's going to get his fair share of Rookie of the Year votes.
He should. He deserves it.
And this is going to be a base hit, and here comes Cargo home. No thorough from Quentin, and the Rockies have a 1-0 lead. Willeen Rosario, and George, that's part of the maturity as opposed to a swing and a miss. It's a swing, and he got it in play, even though he was fooled.
About contact, I mean, that's a big thing. And you realizing that he has strength to do just that. I mean, the ball's a little bit elevated into the strike zone. He's way out on his front leg. But because of his strength, he's able to hit this ball not hard, but into the outfield to score Gonzalez. Carlos Quentin thought he might get to that ball early and then have a play on Gonzalez, but they just made the smart play and put it back in to keep the force out at second.
So here's Tyler Colvin with a .291 average, 15 home runs, closing in on 60 RBIs at the knees for a strike. Rookie RBI leaders, Todd Frazier having a nice year with Cincinnati, just 4 more than Rosario, who has a lot more. With all due respect to Frazier, he has more on his plate being a catcher. Frazier plays both corner infield spots. And the other guy that's going to garner a lot of consideration in the National League's Wade Miley, left-hander with Arizona. We've had some questions about Rutledge. I don't think the body of work will be substantial enough to warrant strong consideration. Runner going, and the throw to second is going to get it. So Willeen cut down trying to steal, but he drove in Gonzalez. The Rockies have a 1-0 lead. Show you. Well, there's only been one inning to show you. First inning, 7 pitches, 7 strikes, 3 outs.
Pretty efficient.
Actually,
inning.
we were told 7. Dougie, shame on you. It was 8 pitches. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. In all seriousness, you know who learns from this? The young guys, the Alex Whites, the Pomerances, who, you know, it's too often 20, 25 pitches an inning.
Yeah, they should learn from it.
Ground ball toward the hole. Rutledge is going to leap, and he got him! What a play! What a play by Josh Rutledge!
And the best part is he acts like he does it every day. That's what I like about Josh Rutledge. It's never a different type of tone of play from him on a daily basis, and to be able to make a play like that's pretty special. The ball's going to get by Chris Nelson. It's going to take one more high hop, and then Rutledge with a very accurate jump throw, and then a good pick over at first by Pacheco. Now watch Pacheco's concentration on this, a backhand which gives you a little bit more of the glove to operate with, and able to pick this and get Quentin by 1.5 feet.
Yeah, they got to get somebody loose, Frazier. Chassin threw 10 straight strikes to start the game, and he just threw one in the dirt.
And it wasn't swung at.
1-1 on Yasmani Grandal, and he fouls this off.
Yeah, notice everything that Chassin is throwing has movement down. You got movement down on a fastball, slider, change up. It's going to catch the bottom half of the bat, and it's going to get hit in the ground a lot.
Comebacker knocked down by Chassin. No panic. 2 outs. Well, last time Chassin had the baseball, he was at Wrigley Field.
He was at Wrigley Field, and again, 5 innings, 5 hits, a run, a couple of walks. He did have 3 strikeouts, and that was a ball game that he elevated the fastball to Soriano, able to get a strikeout. He got him to chase the ball, and I mentioned earlier, you know, this is a guy that when you're around the zone, you can get guys to chase the baseball. They will chase stuff out of the zone.
Rockies leading 1-0, 2 outs in the second. Yonder Alonso's at the plate, and that's a bullet back up the middle, a base hit. Can you get leather on that?
Not a lot. You watch Chassin here on that ball go right back up, looking like it might have hit the thumb of the glove as it's coming through. Watch right here. The ball's going to redirect a little bit and maybe get elevated up a little bit more. It looked as if it did catch the glove.
Cameron Maben, and a soft liner. That's a base hit. And now Alonso will tune it up and go first to third. I'll bring up Alexi Amarista.
Cameron Maben, there's 270 in the second half after hitting a dismal 227 the first half.
That's why they signed him last year. He came on. They signed him to an extension. They like him. And if he hits 270, he plays the kind of defense that he plays, especially hitting 270 with your home park being Petco. Pretty solid player.
Well, he's got speed. He can cover the ground in the outfield. He'll steal a base for you, which he's done that on a frequent basis this year. 25 times. He's been caught just 5 times.
It's a tough out. Amarista, and he fouls it off. I haven't seen a guy running at third try to make a play in a while. That's what Alonso just did, and I think he may regret it because he
might not have had a choice here. The ball came right at him. Yeah, on his right hand. This is where Chassin, since coming back from the disabled list, has really done well. 1 for 8, the opposition with runners in scoring position. He's got another chance here. Pretty good numbers for Amarista with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. 290 average. Drew, there's a high chopper over the mound.
I saw that high chopper earlier. Big chopper. Maben not going, and that pitch outside. 1-1. And here's the thing, if you're Bud Black, if you send Maben and he steals the base, you can walk Amarista and pitch to Volquez, who's hitting .085. That's out of play. We invite you every night to join in on the conversation with Toyota Talk. Text Toyota to 720-720. Fire some questions at us. We typically do it in the 6th inning. You'll also be entered to win a 1-year family membership to the Denver Zoo. '23-year-old Alexi Amarista at the plate, facing 24-year-old Jolice Chassin. This is in the air to shallow right. Colvin with the long strides coming on. He makes the catch. 2 hits, 2 left. Middle of 2. Rockies 1, Padres nothing. Colvin will lead it off in the 2nd. After watching the Rockies tomorrow, stick around for Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy. Jimmy Wright takes us for a tour of the bullpen. We'll look back at the best plays of an amazing August, and as the rosters expand, hear from the rookies as they reminisce about their big league call-ups. It's Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy tomorrow after the postgame show. Colvin lines one to deep right field, and that is over the head of Venable and gone. Line drive, home run, Tyler Colvin. 2-0 Colorado, number 16 for the Clemson product.
I left the bat. I don't think he thought it was out of the ballpark either, but that backspin carried it right into the bullpen of the Rockies, and it's quickly a 2-0 ball game on Edison Volquez. Fastball, they want it down and away. Elevated a little bit away from him on the plate. Cheated just enough to get the bat head on this baseball and just crushed it. Boy, look at that focus of his head on the baseball meeting the bat. That was awesome.
You can see as he turns the wrists over, George Craig, that backspin, it, as you described, just kept going. Jordan Pacheco at the plate. You know, we didn't mention him in the Rookie of the Year Derby, but he ought to get a whole lot of votes as well.
Second at batting average, plays multiple position. He's 8th in runs scored right now. He's 4th in doubles right now. He's 4th in hits with 110. Triples, he is 5th. Last night he hit a home run. On base percentage, .335, which is 5th in baseball among rookies right now. Runs batted in, he's 5th with 37. Total bases, 148. He is 7th. A lot of these things that Pacheco, even his slugging percentage, is 7th in baseball at this time.
Three and 2 on Pacheco. And it's out of play, pumped over the Rockies dugout. Rockies hit 3 solo home runs last night. Came up a solo home run shy. Almost 5-4. This ball is hit on the barrel, the deep left center field. Quentin waving his arms. And the ball was caught. Maben and Quentin never heard each other, and it's the taller of the two outfielders, Cameron Maben, making the catch.
You had collision written all over this. I mean, you could see Quentin calling for it, but obviously Maben can't hear it. You can look right there. I mean, he's yelling, "I got it, I got it." Maven comes over and makes the catch right in front of him. So did you not hear me? Well, you can't whisper. You got to yell.
First pitch changeup, strike one on Chris Nelson. Nelly's hitting .346 against the Padres this year. Talking to a longtime National League scout today about several players, Chris Nelson being one, and it was a compliment if you understand what he was saying. He said originally he was not super high on Chris Nelson, but he said he's really grown on me. He's turned into a solid big league third baseman. Really improved his defense. 2 outs. DJ LeMahieu coming up, who wants tacos. Remember, when the Rockies do score 7, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day between 4 and 6 in the afternoon. Get your Rockies taco special. Frazier one day tried to do it between 4 and 6 in the morning, and that didn't work out.
Well, when you're going fishing, you got to get up early. You thought you ought to have a little breakfast.
Plenty of good things on the breakfast menu. LeMahieu takes strike one.
San Francisco defeated the Chicago Cubs today. Tim Lincecum got the win in the ball game, 5-2. Philly over Atlanta, 5-1. Washington loses in extras to the Cardinals, 10-9.
So Rockies Sunday night, tomorrow after the ball game, will head to Atlanta.
4 big games too, coming against a ball club down there to see how some of these young kids react. Away on the road, the Rockies play 20 road games here in September.
LeMahieu strikes out, second strikeout of the ball game for Volquez, but Tyler Colvin got him on his first pitch of the second inning. The home run makes it 2-0.
outside beyond center field. Guys, it's the first food truck roundup. Food trucks are in, unbeknownst to me. It's not your grandfather's food trucks anymore. You can get cupcakes. You can get fondue if you want. And if you want New York sliced pizza, Fat Sully's has it. Any way you can think about it. Kind of a cool thing fans can enjoy tonight, the food truck roundup. Drew, George?
Well, that's good, but when are you bringing something up?
I was going to say, you should never have told George that. There's an art, there's an art also to wrapping sandwiches. See that? That was well done. Volquez is behind 0-2. So I think, George, that would be a nice winter job for you.
Who says it is?
Right field, Colvin makes the catch. Volquez retired, and that'll bring up Everett Cabrera. Wells Fargo customers, alert, alert, alert. Get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Good football game across the way at Sports Authority Field this afternoon. The annual showdown between the University of Colorado and Colorado State. Two programs rebuilding. Easy play for Pacheco. And the Buffs had a 14-3 lead. The Rams came back, played great defense, ended up winning 22-17. So congratulations to Jim McElwain. He becomes the first CSU coach to win his debut since Jerry Wampfler in 1970.
If you want to pay attention on how to pitch, 23 pitches, 21 strikes. Yolis Chassin through 2 2/3.
And that obviously has not always been the Jolie Chassin that we've seen.
It hasn't been, but I think, again, I think he went back and had a little reality check, too. I think he realized what he had to do to get back to being the guy that, quite honestly, went 18-1 in the minor leagues one year, 18-3, because he threw strikes. He kept the ball down in the zone. He came out of Tulsa, came here, made an impact because he threw strikes, and he's doing it here. 2-0 Rockies.
Rockies 2, Padres nothing. Bottom of the third inning. 9-1-2 in the lineup for Colorado. AT&T trivia question. Willeen Rosario with 23 jacks. Last season, how many big league rookies hit more than 23 home runs? Chassin hitting 300 this year. And he takes strike one. Just doesn't have quite enough at bats to qualify to be among the league leaders. He has 10. Headley waits.
I'll get your tickets now for Fan Appreciation Fireworks Game, Friday, September the 21st. Make sure you're here at the ballpark as they take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. A lot of ways to get tickets for that game. 1-800-388-ROCK, Coors Field, Dugout Stores, King Soopers, or just ColoradoRockies.com.
Dexter takes a breaking ball for a strike. Dex hit .366 in August. 5th best average in the National League. EY hit .406. These guys with those obliques, so EY and Michael Kadire, it's going to be real tough to get back out on the field this year again. They're trying. Those injuries linger. Good changeup. Bud Black. I asked Buddy before the game today, what did he learn about Edinson Volquez that he didn't know? Strike 3. And he said, well, obviously from afar, you know, he has great stuff, great changeup. He said, what I learned is that when you see him competing on the mound, and the shirt comes out a little bit. Bud even demonstrated. He pulled his shirt out and the hat gets cockeyed a little bit. It's not a bad attitude. It's that this guy wants to do well so badly and is so competitive. It just sometimes comes out in you know, he gets disheveled a little bit.
Well, I think, too, he's one of these guys that, you know, the appearance, the body language at times would rub people the wrong way. A misunderstood player. Maybe that's the best way to put it.
Said he's been a great teammate. Breaking ball misses there, 2-0. And I think we all do that. We're all guilty at different times of misinterpreting, misreading body language from afar.
Guys hated to play against Ricky Henderson, but they loved him as a teammate.
Jay Alvis, who was with Ricky, he's the PR director of the Rockies, vice president of communications, and Jay was in Oakland many years ago working in a similar capacity. He tells a number of great Ricky Henderson stories. 2-2. One of them was Ricky goes up to the plate. I think Terry Steinbeck was behind the plate. Ricky was always having an ongoing conversation with himself, and the first pitch was in there for a strike. He goes, that's all right, Ricky, you didn't like that one. Next one was outside. He goes, good eye, Ricky, good eye. Next pitch, swung on and missed. He goes, there's a base hit to center field for Rutledge. Next pitch, he swung through. George said, Ricky, good swing, good swing. He said, you were right on it. Next pitch was outside. He goes, all right, good eye, Ricky.
Could you imagine having that next to you all day?
I know, and they're laughing. The umpire's laughing. Next pitch, big swing and a miss. Ricky goes, that's all right, Ricky, you're still the best. And he walked off to the dugout.
Ricky Anderson. The Hall of Famer. Still has some activity with the Oakland A's in the minor leagues. We'll go down and visit at Midland, and he'll go to Stockton.
Cargo doubled to left his first time up. 2 outs. Rutledge with the good wheels at first. That's a good eye. That's a pitch, George, 3 days ago he swings at.
Probably does. Breaking ball, not anticipating it. Here he takes the ball and slashes it to left field for a double ahead of the throw of Quinton.
Outfield swung around to the opposite field. The infield has 3 on the right side.
Now pull on the ground, fly ball left field with the velocity at 95. When he comes in, it's going to be in and it's going to be above the hands. And that's where Gonzalez in past years can hurt you. If he's looking in and looking up, somebody's going to get a souvenir.
Well, he hit one into the Mountain Ranch Club the other day. Ball game we didn't televise on Thursday. 1-2. He hasn't seen a fastball in this at bat. Two nothing Colorado. A running count. That's why Rutledge drew a throw right there. He said the quad's feeling a lot better, but we haven't seen him really accelerate like he did prior to the injury. Volquez continuing that pattern of either changeup or curveball.
Has yet to give him that good fastball. 43 pitches for him, 30 strikes. He's also working the ball in with the changeup, the curveball. We'll see if he elevates the fastball away or goes back to that changeup away. Big lead for Rutledge.
Two and two. Changeup was inside. And another base hit to left. Rutledge will stop at second. Fastball showed up, and Cargo drove it the other way. He's 2 for 2, and they're 2 on now for Rosario. Let's answer the AT&T trivia question, since it concerns Willeen. 23 home runs this year for the rookie. Last year, how many rookies hit more home runs? 1, Mark Trumbo. And today, Mark Trumbo was 1 for 4, a couple of ribbies, did not go deep as the Angels beat the Mariners 5-2. Aaron Sibia with Toronto hit 23 last year. Washington's Danny Espinosa at 21. Freddie Freeman 21 with Atlanta. And a bouncer to third, and they'll get the force there. Headley to Amarista. Rockies had a couple hits. They'll leave a couple on. We'll go to the fourth. 2-0 Colorado.
Number 23 back with the Rockies. Jason Giambi off that viral syndrome, activated today as rosters expanded. Yeah, he's got the gray in his beard. He's 41, but he feels like a kid.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm like a kid again. Going down to AA and AAA and playing with the kids down there brings that vibrance back to why you play the game. It's exciting, to go down there, and I feel great, and that's the most important thing.
Drew George, 18 years in the big leagues. He's going to round things out in September. We'll see how he does. They're going to use him kind of the same way they've been using him prior to his injury and going on the DL, guys.
Well, Mark, the last time he'd played in the Texas League was 1994.
For Huntsville, right?
Yeah.
He played well at Tulsa.
And Huntsville's not in the Texas League anymore.
And I want to tell you something that he and Troy Tulowitzki both did while they were in Tulsa. Prior to every game, they spent 30 to 45 minutes right next to the dugout. The fans in Tulsa lined up on that dugout corner. And they signed autographs for anybody and as many things as they wanted, from balls to bats to old jerseys to baseball cards. Jason and Tulo both did a wonderful job with that, representing the Rockies and representing themselves.
0-2 count. That misses 1-2 on Chase Headley. Chase tied for the National League lead with Michael Bourne in games played. This is game number 133 for Headley. It's game number 134 for the Padres. And a swinging strikeout. That's the second strikeout for Chacin. Here's the Drillers playoff schedule, George. I think you probably had this one memorized.
Wednesday. Yeah, a little bit about it. Yeah, they start on Wednesday. They take on at One Oak Field in Tulsa. They'll take on the Springfield Ball Club, who won the second half. Parker Frazier will get the start in game 1. They'll play 3, if necessary, games 4 and 5. They'll all be played down at Springfield. 3, 4, and 5 will be played down there, just game 1 and 2. And then they will play the winner, if they happen to win that series, the winner of the Corpus Christi Ball Club and Frisco, which is Texas and Houston, to see who would be the Texas League champions. Also, Asheville's into the playoffs right now, and Grand Junction trails by 2. Modesto leads their division right now by 5.
Quentin gets the bat broken, and Dexter calls off Colvin. 2 outs. So Giambi was activated today. It's September 1st. You can expand your rosters. Guillermo Moscoso was brought back to the big leagues, so he'll help out in the bullpen. We've seen Guillermo a few times this year. The Padres also made a couple of moves.
Well, they brought in Cashner, a guy that throws over 100 miles an hour. He's back down in their bullpen. Thatcher, another left-hander, down in their bullpen.
So now they have 2 lefties down there. There's Lane. We saw Tommy Lane yesterday. He's been down there. Thatcher had a right knee situation. And as George mentioned, Andrew Cashner throws BBs. I mean, he throws cheese now.
Came over in the Anthony Rizzo trade from the Chicago Cubs.
An 0-2 base hit for Yasmani Grandal. 3rd single allowed by Chacin. That'll bring up Yonder Alonso. Today's CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Fast speed, a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. 97 for Volquez, 92 for Chacin. Rockies leading 2-0. Rosario an RBI single. Tyler Colvin a solo home run. And Alonso bounces one to second. The very steady DJ LeMahieu makes the play. What a job thus far. What an economical job thus far by Chacin. Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Tyler Colvin against Edinson Volquez, and the winner is Tyler Colvin. Line drive, home run to right center, number 16 for Colvin. Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Colvin will lead it off, then Pacheco and Nelson in the 4th inning. With George Frazier and Mark Stout, I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies leading 2-0 against the Padres. The Friars are 8-5 against Colorado so far this year. Colvin, with that home run, is now hitting 6 consecutive ball games. Oh, and 2. Rosario and Chacin. Johnny Herrera in the middle. Basically, if I'm Rosario, what I would say, George, whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Yeah, don't change anything. I'll just put the glove down. You just hit it.
One and 2. Ground ball toward the hole. Amarista gets over there. And Yonder Alonso recovers to the bag. 1 out. Rockies fans, Root Sports has launched a new interactive second screen experience called Game Connect. It's a lot of fun. We've used it up here in the booth. I think you'll enjoy it. Get live game stats and all kinds of in-depth numbers as well. If you like interacting, visit rootsports.com/Rocky Mountain now to connect.
Well, I tell you, both these guys are really pounding the strike zone. Volquez is 70% strike so far in this game.
Here's the 1-strike pitch to Jordan, and it's a 2-strike pitch. Line drive down the left field line. Fair ball. Jordan Pacheco hustling to second, and he'll have a double. His hitting prowess continues. That's a 10-game hitting streak for Pacheco and his 24th double.
Ties him for second in the National League in doubles behind Alonso and Cozart for Cincinnati. And this is just a rocket over the head of Chase Headley down into that corner. It's going to wind in and allow Pacheco to coast into second base.
One out. Chris Nelson, who hit a fly ball to right, is up there. And this ball is well struck to right field. Going back is Will Venable. And moving up to third is Pacheco. DJ LeMahieu. Let's see if Bud Black passes on LeMahieu with Chacin on deck. Already down 2-0. You're in the 4th inning. Middle section of the ball game, if you will.
Yeah, looking over right now. He hadn't passed on him yet. Now he made the decision to go ahead and do it. If you want to bike to the game September 2nd, you can do that. You know what? You win a lot of prizes. Green packs are also available. Get more info at ColoradoRockies.com/green for that ball game. It's coming up September the 2nd.
Let's see if Yoli Chassin can mess up the strategy. Chassin got it in play his first time, hit a chopper to third. Pacheco at third, LeMahieu at first. Outfield is shortened up. One and two.
A lot of times at Coors Field, pitchers will try to trick the opposition's pitcher with a breaking ball here and hang it versus going right at him with a fastball. It appears to be changeup. Surprising.
Chassin's going to make him throw another pitch. Struck him out. So the Rockies leave 2 on in the 4th inning. They have a 2-0 lead as we march to the 5th. Sports is brought to you by the Ford Super Duty. Built stronger, built better, built Ford tough. Ford Super Duty. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T Rethink Possible. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Rockies up 2-0. Jolie Chassin has scattered 3 singles. He'll see the bottom third of the order here in the 5th inning. He has thrown only 35 pitches in 4 innings.
Pretty exciting to see that, isn't it? Pounding the strike zone. 31 of 35 have been strikes. Just 4 balls thrown in 4 innings. Figure that out. Holy cow.
Cameron Maben punched a single to left center his first time. And he takes, guess what? Strike 1. And this is in the air to Maben's counterpart, Dexter Fowler. 1 gone, and that'll bring up Alexi Amarista.
Well, part of this whole pitching scheme that's going on here with the Rocky organization was endorsed and brought on and really liked by Bo McLaughlin and Jim Wright. They're 2 guys that have to institute that more than anybody else and make believers out of this pitching staff. And obviously with Chassin and Francis on a more consistent basis, they have been the 2 most successful. We've seen flashes from Chatwood, White, and Pomeranz, but Bo has done a good job of still trying to coach those younger guys and getting the right and correct thing out of them. And trust me, in that dugout right now, he's told a few of those young guys, are y'all watching what's going on with Yolis and what he is doing? 15 right now of 17 first pitch strikes in the ball game for Chassin.
Amarista walks on 4 pitches. That came out of nowhere. Volquez will come up. We ask you to join in on the conversation with Toyota Talk. Fire your questions to Toyota, or first you have to text Toyota 720-720 the number, and then fire the questions. And if you text right now, you'll be entered to win a 1-year family membership to the Denver Zoo. This goes off of Willeen Rosario. That will be his 15th pass ball. Strategy won't change, or excuse me, the strategy will change, I should say, with 1 out. We think with Volquez.
A little bit of the duck of the head that time by Willeen with the bat being stuck out. Somewhat of a flinch and the eyes closed. You see it there on the Mike Shaw Subaru, and a lot of catchers close their eyes when a ball's like that, when you've got a flinch on the ball up and in.
Ground ball to second. Mayhew will throw out Volquez. Amarista to third. And that'll bring up Cabrera. Strikeout and 2-hopper to first for Everett Cabrera. Cabrera's 0 for his last 10 at the plate. Outside. 1-2.
Trying to get a ball on the ground. He's done it 7 times. This has had also 5 fly ball outs, lazy fly ball outs, I might add, and a couple of strikeouts in this ball game.
Good block.
Really try to get on top of that slider. Elbows seem to be a little more elevated on this pitch than in others that you've seen, trying to get up on top of that slider. He has spiked it right out in front of home plate. If you go back to the first at bat by Cabrera, he chased a spiked slider in the ground for strike 3. And a fastball here.
Broke his bat, and the out recorded at first. DJ LeMahieu throwing out Cabrera. Amarista left at third. Middle of 5, 2-0 Colorado.
Go to the bottom of the 5th with a 2-0 lead. While we're talking about pitchers coming back from injuries, an update on Jorge De La Rosa. Try to come back from Tommy John surgery. Threw to live hitters today here at Coors Field around 2:30 or so. He threw 3 15-pitch innings as you watch him work on the hill at Coors Field. I talked to pitching coach Bo McLaughlin. He said he liked what he saw. It's not out of the realm of possibility that he could make a start for the Rockies this month, just to kind of get another test and a feel for things going further on with Jorge De La Rosa. Drew George, you may have seen some of that. Not to say that it's going to happen, but I'm wondering what your thoughts are going forward here with Jorge De La Rosa.
Well, it was free and easy, Mark. I'll say that. I watched it today from up here in the broadcast booth, although it was in the middle of a wind dust storm in downtown Denver at the time. I'm not sure how he even was able to stay on the mound, but he worked through his simulated, thought he threw the ball fine. I mean, it's just a matter of going to be how strong can the arm get and carry over. And I thought it was a great thought process from Jim Tracy to see how he feels tomorrow. I mean, for today's kind of the first day to really get out there against hitters. Adrenaline kicks up a little bit, a little more extension. If you look, we were fortunate enough to tape a little bit of this. I mean, you can see, look at Bo's jacket. There goes the screen. Yeah, this is fun. It was nuts to set and try to play in this thing, and the hitters came out later on in that. It was pretty crazy. Bo stood out there with him, though, to make sure everything was done correctly, and it was. I think everybody came away pleased.
Dexter strikes out for the second time. 5 punch outs in all for Volquez. 1 gone. Josh Rutledge, who's 1 for 2, will take his turn. Well, Rutledge can't hear me, but his Crimson Tide are burying Michigan early, 24-0. He's got it recorded to watch later.
Well, hitting the road, you may as well subscribe to MLB.tv. See every Rockies out of market game online or on your favorite devices in HD quality when you're not at home.
The big leagues obviously easier for Josh Rutledge than the minor leagues, because in the minor leagues, George, he hit 320 in his brief career down there, and he's hitting 347 up here.
Obviously, it's been a huge success for him and what he's got accomplished here early on.
Rutledge singled to center field this last time. Here's the 1-1 and a ground ball, base hit through the right side. He uses the whole field and he finds the barrel frequently. He's been topic of conversation #1 of late with scouts in the dining hall.
Well, guys trying to figure out who this guy is. Is he the same guy we watched at Double-A this year in Tulsa? What is he doing differently? Higher average, a little more power. He had 13 home runs at Tulsa.
Carr goes 2 for 2, a double and a single, and so now they don't employ the shift. We're not as dramatic. Inside ball 1. Both of his hits went to left. One on the ground, one was kind of a line drive shot to left close to the line that produced the double. 1 out, 1 on, 2-0 Colorado, bottom of 5. And a 2-0 count. This ball in the air to Quentin in left. 2 outs. Here comes Willeen Rosario. RBI single in the first. He grounded to third his last time up. Rutledge back. Changeup misses ball 1. Willeen, another bomb last night.
What I like about Willeen, he hits it, he watches, drop the bat, and run. There's a lot of guys that do that, hit it, and they understand and know that, hey, I'm supposed to do this.
See, that's a pitch he swings at a month and a half ago.
Typically the breaking balls would have swung at, but if you look at that month of August, there's been some guys bringing some heat too. You see this pitch up and in. But what they've done, Rutledge 16 RBIs, Rosario and Pacheco both driving in runs, hitting the long ball. Look at Jordan's average and Dexter with a 366 average.
2-1. Went off speed 2-0. Good eye. That's the maturation right there, George. That pitch.
And again,
that's a chase slider.
And that's a pitch he would have chased even if it's a 2-1 count or a 1-2 count a couple of months ago. Here he's able to lay off of it.
And he takes his walk. He'll pass the baton to Tyler Colvin. 2 on.
Not really sure that's exactly what Polkaz was trying to do, is to walk Rosario to get to Colvin, who's hit a home run to right field off of him. It'll get a visit from Darren Balsley out to the mound. About what pitches they need to utilize to get Tyler Colvin. He's thrown 78 in the game, 50 strikes. Walks allowed, you see the most, well ahead of Carlos Zambrano, ranked Lincecum, and Gallardo with 93. Season average, very good average with runners in scoring position, 337 for Tyler Colvin. Bud Black aware of that, hoping to get out of this inning. Keep everything where it is at 2-0.
Ball 1 on Colvin. Rockies have out hit the Padres 7-3. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Heater misses. 2-0.
6 out of the last 7 pitches not in the zone.
Marquez has been much better his last 2 starts. He had a rough ride for 3 starts at the beginning of August. Line drive, left field, fair ball. 1 run will score. Rosario's going to get a green light. He's going to score. 2-run double, Tyler Colvin. $4-0 Rockies.
Another miniature milestone when you cross over that 60 RBI total. He's at 61 now, 3 in the game. Rutledge got it started with a single, a walk to Rosario, and then this double by Tyler Colvin on a ball away from him. Not trying to do too much. Hugs that foul line about a foot fair. Rosario off and flying, and Richie Dyer didn't hesitate to send him to the plate to make this a 4-0 ball game.
60 RBIs, a career high. He drove in 56 in 2010, his rookie year, when he hit 20 home runs.
Fans starting to get into it a little bit, even with the Rockies struggling this year. You're starting to see people back in the seats here. Look at this crowd tonight compared to, you had a football game right across the street. A lot of activities going on in the city this weekend, yet this crowd at Coors Field, a very good crowd.
the Rockies have played much better baseball the last 3.5 weeks. Winning cures a lot of things. We'll probably reflect a month from now, George, and talk about the necessity, obviously, of putting 6 months together. But August was a step in the right direction.
Well, it should give you a step in the right direction to September. And then be thinking about that in the wintertime. As you mentioned at the start of this ball game, it was the last winning month the Rockies had was in 2011 April.
Well, June, and then April was the last time they'd won as many games.
It's a long time. In 2011. That's a long time ago.
Sure.
So yeah, you put back-to-back months put together, it's sure going to change the perspective of what you feel as a player. Manager, coaches, organization, everyone.
And now a walk to Jordan Pacheco. And that'll bring up Chris Nelson, and you get the feeling that Volquez is one knock away from an exit.
Now 85 pitches, you're in the 5th inning. 8 hits given up. There's been long balls. There's been doubles hit.
Nelson has hit the ball in the air twice to right. Last time it was a line drive to pretty deep right field. Ball 1.
A lot of these young players, Nelson, get an opportunity. You said that he's starting to wear on these National League scouts that are starting to see Chris on an everyday basis. Well, they should. 355 average with runners in scoring position. Numbers overall, he missed a couple of weeks in the middle of the year. 328 average with 12 RBIs since the All-Star break. Maybe a chance to add to it.
Shallow left. It'll drop. Colvin scores as Chris Nelson makes it 5-0. Pacheco to third. 36th RBI for Nelson.
There's still no activity. Well, I guess there is activity down there in the bullpen. I haven't seen anybody throwing down there, but Bud Black's going out.
Well, he's got to take him out, so
somebody's already been there visit. I saw very little, if any, activity going on down there. There is a right-hander coming out of that bullpen after this base hit by Chris Nelson. Drives in his 36th run, the 5th of the ball game, and Edison Volquez will depart with runners at first and third and trailing 5-0.
Good inning for the Rockies. They're not done. 5-0. to 5-0, and they've knocked Edison Volquez out of there, and Nick Vincent will take over. This is the 4th time Vincent has been with the Padres this year. He's been back and forth between AAA.
Like he's done a decent job. Inherited runners about 60%. Last year pitched in 82 ball games, 66 ball games, all in relief for San Antonio. 2.27 earned run average. One of those late round guys, 18th round, selected in 2008 draft. So I mean, you start to look around. This guy's done a pretty good job getting to the big leagues.
DJ LeMahieu with Pacheco at third, Nelson at first. Vincent, a California kid who, after spending time at a junior college, matriculated at Long Beach State. They just keep cranking out big leaguers, don't they?
Both position players and pitchers.
There goes the runner, the throw to second, and he's going to get in a run down. Here's the throw to the plate. It's a good one. That was well executed by Amarista as Pacheco is cut down. He'll get in a run down in the first and third situation. Rockies get 3, 5-0, they lead. Look back, Tyler Colvin's had a big ball game. Rockies were leading 1-0 when Colvin came up and drove the first pitch he saw in the second inning to the Rockies bullpen. 16th home run for Colvin. He come up with 2 on in the 5th inning, and he lined his double just fair down the left field line. That played in 2 more. And then Chris Nelson off the end of the bat would drop a single into left field. Colvin with the Rockies' 5th run. You're up to date. 5-0 Colorado. Brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address. South Broadway in Littleton. At the bottom of the strike zone. Strike 1 on Will Venable. Jhoulys Chacin, working here in the 6th inning, has thrown only 60 pitches. Or is that 50?
That's 50.
50 pitches.
And only 11 balls. That's been the ticket. This ball's going to drift, hopefully not out of the ballpark. And it will.
Yeah, Will Venable got just enough of it, and he hits it out. His 9th home run of the year, and there goes your shutout. 5-1 the score.
'37th RBI, 9th home run for Will Venable, and again, it looked like one of those that just carried out of the ballpark. It didn't look particularly hit that well to me. I just thought it was a long fly ball out to right in front of that auxiliary scoreboard, and it did hit the top of it. Pretty good look there, just barely over.
Outside 1-1 on Chase Hedlund.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening this year with the Rockies that are positives. One of them, Tyler Colvin, and the job he's done out in right field, playing a little first base, some center field, but more importantly, what he's done with the bat and the RBI totals. And another guy, Ottavino, coming out of the bullpen. I mean, that's where you really credit those pro scouts that are out pounding the streets and going to a lot of ballparks, going to AAA ballparks, taking looks at players, taking chances on players, putting their name on players, convincing ownership to make trades. You know, those are a couple of guys that jump out at it for me.
Next Chassin ends up walking Headley. And that'll bring up Quentin. First walk, excuse me, that's the second walk allowed by Jolis. Popped up right behind the plate. And Rosario, in textbook fashion, makes the catch.
Biggest thing about that high fly ball behind home plate is not get nervous and in a hurry. Stay very calm, find the baseball once you toss that mask off to the side, and it's going to come back to you with the reverse spin. Just stay with it and stay calm. He did a nice job with it.
Don't get right underneath it because it'll land behind you if you do.
Let's just see right here. Just made a nice job of getting rid of the mask. Followed the baseball and tracked it all the way to the glove using two hands.
Yasmani Grandal, 1 for 2. Outside ball 1 on Grandal. Product of the University of Miami by way of Cuba. Who do you see at first base for the Rockies next year? And where will Rutledge play when Tulo comes back? Rutledge is going to play second base when Troy comes back. And this is a ground ball cut off by Pacheco. There's one, and the Rockies turned it over. That's a tough turn. 3-6-1. Nice catch at first by Chassin. Kept the foot around the bag, then fell down. A run on the home run by Will Venable. Rockies lead in the 6th, 5-1.
Get you tonight's Chevy's Dare to Compare. Brought to you by Chevy. Chevy's full lineup of vehicles makes it the clear winner that the competition can't compete. Chevy, made for Colorado. Now, guys, I knew that Rafael Betancourt had a good August a year ago and September, and I knew he had a good August this year, so I thought I would compare the two. Almost identical, 13 games to 12, and look at that pitch count at the bottom. He threw one less pitch this August than last August, 168 to 169. He's been about as consistent as you can be out of the Rockies bullpen. The Rockies closer has been good again this year, guys.
Yeah, kind of unheralded because he didn't get a lot of opportunities to do what he's being paid to do, and that's close baseball games. In August, given the opportunity, and he has responded. Good piece, Mark. 1-0 right now. At the plate is DJ LeMahieu, and it's 1-1. And how about this, George? Because the pitch count is so minimal, Chacin, this may be a first. He's going to work into the 7th inning, it looks like.
Yeah, nobody getting up down in the Rockies bullpen. Absolutely. He's going to hit right now, so pretty good indication of that.
Edinson Volquez, 4 of his last 6 outings. He's gone less than 5 innings. One of the outings he didn't get out of the 3rd inning. Actually, one of the outings he didn't get out of the 2nd inning. He gives up 5 runs tonight, 4 2/3, 9 hits, 3 walks. One of those walks was intentional. 5 punch outs. Nick Vincent in relief. 1-1 count on Chacin. Chacin's gone. Time for the Coors Light freeze can. This is a great play earlier by Josh Rutledge. Carlos Quentin running, thinks he's got a seeing eye base hit. The jump throw. Pick up at first as well by Jordan Pacheco. Coors Light freeze can brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Here's Dexter with 2 outs and nobody on. Dexter's 0 for 3 thus far. One and two. Rockies have 9 hits tonight. They had 9 hits last night. Kind of interesting. Last night they had a hit in all but 2 innings. But fell 5-4. Dexter hits it to Amarista. Nick Vincent works a 1-2-3-6. We move on to inning number 7. It's all good for the home club. 5-1, the Rockies lead.
Our slow-mo moment here, and there's Roger be giving straighting our slow-mo camera. Roger on that camera tonight. Wave, Roger. Very good. Nice job. There's Russell. Russell, I don't know why you do this, but I guess there's a reason, and there's a reason it's in slow motion. It's going to be to you in real time here to start out with. Get a pop. How'd that work out for you? Now we'll go slow-mo. I just hadn't washed my hair this morning. Thought it was a good time to do it right at the ballpark. I'm telling you what, I think our camera crew is having a blast coming up with different things to do to the guys.
Russell looked a little.
Sam, when's it your turn?
Russell looked a little jittery for that. Yonder Alonso with a 1-strike count. Chacin out there in the 7th inning. The only time since the Rockies went to the paired rotation that a pitcher worked into the 7th inning was when Drew Pomeranz went 6 1/3 against the Nationals right before the All-Star break. The last Rocky starter to go more than 6 1/3, Christian Friedrich, worked 7 innings on June 4th in Arizona. That was a 4-0 shutout ultimately that day. 2-2 count on Alonso, a single and a ground ball to second. Just 4 hits allowed by Jolis. 3-2, didn't bite on the slider. Got him on a changeup. 3rd strikeout for Jolis, and Cameron Maben will come up.
No, the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Mo, you're going to get a good look at this pitch. It's on that outer half, a little bit up into the zone, but still had movement, a reach and a punch out of Alonso.
You know what? Looking at that again, George, that was a slider, but it acted like a changeup. Sometimes when they back up, as you say, you can't make them do that. But
you'd love to figure out how. It's one of the best pitches in baseball, backup slider.
Cameron Maben's at the plate. Cameron's from Asheville, North Carolina. And you know a guy he works out with still to this day in the offseason?
Joe Mikola.
Joe Mikola in the air to left, base hit. In fact, he was for 3 years the Asheville bat boy. I said, you remember when Helton went through there? He goes, no, I was too young.
No, he doesn't remember that.
But he remembers he was the bat boy. To give you an idea how young Cameron is, he was the bat boy when Ian Stewart was going through there, and ultimately Ian dated and married Joe Mikola's daughter. But he's still on occasion will work out with Mick. Alexi Amarista at the plate, 1 out, 1 on.
Looking forward to tomorrow's ball game. Jeff Francis going against Casey Kelly, the young right-hander that came over in the Boston trade. Hard thrower.
I'm really
interested to see that ball game tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Kelly. We've heard a lot about him. Tremendous athlete. Speaking of Helton and Tennessee, quarterbacks from Tennessee with Peyton Manning in town, Kelly was all set to go to Tennessee as a quarterback.
6 innings, couple of 4 punch outs, couple of walks in that first start he made. And then Jeff Francis, what a nice job he's done for the Rockies. Back to being just Jeff Francis.
Ball and 2 strikes on Amarista, who the Padres picked up from the Angels organization.
Now the Angels have made some changes this year in their minor leagues. I know whenever they traded for Zach Greinke, they got rid of 3 very high quality guys. We're on it. One guy's named Hellwig, a 6'9" right-handed thrower. Segura was one of their top rated middle infielders in the big leagues now with Kansas City. or excuse me, Milwaukee, where Greinke came from, and then Pena, a hard-throwing right-hander, also out of that organization. Jerry DiPoto gave up a lot, not seeing much coming back his way in the returns as far as wins with his Anaheim Angels. The Angels right now in the American League West trail it by 8.5.
And a ground ball to second, only one play, and that's first, with Maven getting a good jump. With a nice lead, take outs. Jesus Guzman will pinch hit for Vincent.
First 10,000, September 11th, they're going to receive a coupon for a $8 hot dog, courtesy of Hebrew National, one of the favorite times here at the ballpark, with the Giants in town. 1-800-388-ROCK to get your ticket for that ball game.
2 outs in the 7th inning, and Chassin, who's battled pitch count issues at times in the past himself, in light of some of the struggles with the youngsters, Alex White, Drew Pomerantz.
Right, a good part
He's
about
thrown
it.
71 pitches in 6 2/3.
Good part about it, he's been aggressive in the zone. They've swung at some pitches out of the zone, but they haven't hit the ball hard. I mean, that's the biggest key for me, because he has made pitches. And Dana DeMuth has had a very nice strike zone tonight.
Jesus Guzman, pinch hitting, takes strike one. Career .362 hitter is Guzman against Rockies pitching. Good pitch, 0-2.
Good block by Rosario, too. Didn't overreact to the pitch. Brothers Belisle playing a little bit of catch. Belisle getting prepared for the 8th inning. Rex come to get him out of this inning.
Here's the 0-2. Nope. Oh-2, got him. What a job. 72 pitches in 7 innings of work for Chassin, and he gives up a run on 5 hits. Marvelous job. Coming over and giving a Big slap on the back to Jolie Chassin. That's the blueprint right there for what the Rockies would love to see any night. 71 pitches, 7 innings of work. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. New pitcher in the ball game, right-hander Corey Burns is out there for San Diego. Rutledge, Gonzalez, and Rosario in the bottom half of the 7th for Colorado.
Another one of those guys, not many games thrown so far, 8 innings, 9 strikeouts. He's walked 6. Little low 3/4, a little Louis Tiate with a shoulder turn and back turn to the plate.
Vincent got 4 outs, didn't allow a base runner. Rutledge didn't see that pitch real well. 0-2. Josh has got a couple hits tonight. He's going to be real happy later on tonight, George, when he watches that Bama game.
I'm saying he goes to bed.
Guess what? Another base hit. What impresses me the most, George, about Josh Rutledge is his ability to make adjustments inside and at bat. He did not look particularly good on the first 2 swings against this kid.
Well, they tried to pull everything. This time he's just taking the ball to the right field. It's an elevated pitch away from him. He's not trying to do too much with the pitch. I think that's the biggest thing for me. Nice job taking that ball right back up the middle.
Cargo 2 for 3, double single, fly ball left field. 5-1 Colorado, leadoff knock by Rutledge. And a swinging bunt, that's a fair ball. And Cargo out at first, but advancing into scoring position is Rutledge. Seats for dad and daughter. Rosario at the plate, RBI single, ground out, a walk and a run scored. We don't use this term much, George. We talk about situational lefties. But with his arm slot, he's a situational righty, basically.
Well, he can't be, and the velocity's a little bit better, so that kicks him up into where he can do a little bit more than just situational guys. We haven't seen the right-handed slider yet that a lot of those guys use that dip way down and turn their backs and do so much rotation on it. Does show a changeup, and that was a good one at 81.
Good one. That thing dropped off the table. That had split movement.
And again, this is a guy to see. You can see that circle change on it, but how much rotation he puts onto the baseball. He starts with that ball in a pancake position and just rolls it over the top as it comes through, and that's what developed that good, very good move, late move on. Really quick pitch that time. There's no rotation of the upper body, so he gives you varied looks there too. Another change up and a little quicker motion to go along with it, a little more velocity, and Rosario catches the bottom of it.
And he's able to strike out Rosario. 2 outs. That'll bring up Tyler Colvin. And Bud Black's going to come out and say, nice job, kid. We're going to bring in the lefty to face Colvin. (5-1) Colorado, 2 outs in the 7th inning. Rutledge at second base. Joe Thatcher coming on to face Tyler Colvin. Tyler Colvin will face Joe Thatcher, the veteran left-hander, just activated today. Been missing of late with a knee injury. Lefty's hitting just a .152 against him. Colvin, the hitting star for the Rockies today. Home run in the 2nd, 2-run double in the 5th. 3 driven in. He has scored 2. 2 for 3.
Thatcher threw an inning the other day, and Inland Empire, their Class A team in the California League, did a good job with that. Had a couple of strikeouts, no walks, no hits.
Colvin's hitting .271 left on left.
It's just been a great year all around for him.
He had a quality hack at that slider.
The next Purple Monday, September the 10th. Wear purple and you can win prizes. In the first 12,500, you're going to receive Rockies Rewards coupons. So make sure you show up for the game on the 10th wearing that purple shirt while the Giants are in town.
One, two. And Thatcher strikes out Colvin. We move to the 8th inning. The Rockies leading 5-1 over the Friars. inning. And after 7 stupendous innings from Jolie Chassin, we'll see Matt Belisle.
66th appearance for the young man, 2 out of 8 opportunities. I think some of those are a little misleading. He's had to take a couple of losses when he came into those ball games. 3-5 overall record. 67 in the 3rd innings. Look for quick pitches, quick outs, quick strikes. All the good things you look for in a guy setting up in the 8th inning trying to get to Mr. Betancourt.
Top of the order, Cabrera, Venable, Headley against Belisle. Strike 1 at the knees.
Moscoso getting a little work. He started 2 nights ago in AAA, went 3 innings, 3 hits, no runs. He walked 2, struck out 3.
One and 2. Cabrera did this last night. Remember that at bat?
11 pitches, I remember. Start the ball game.
Just missed. 2 and 2. Bouncing ball to LeMahieu. Tough play, and he's just going to get Cabrera, who runs well. Boy, you can't say enough about the defense that DJ LeMahieu has played. He's not your typical looking second baseman.
Big guy, but he's played it his whole career. And last year in the fall, they got a chance to watch him play a few ball games there with the Cub organization. Did a nice job handling that exchange, just as he did there. Very good. Glove to hand and a flip over to Pacheco to get a speedy runner.
His fielding percentage is above .990 at second. The league average is .985 for second baseman. That gives you a little more of an idea how good he's been. Next chance will be his 200th. Just 2 boo-boos.
And he's swung the bat well. 289 average coming into this game tonight. He's had a walk intentionally. He's home run, 13 strikeouts, or 13 RBIs. Not a lot of RBI opportunities when you're hitting 8. You get walked a lot, pitched around.
He's proven he's a big leaguer. 3-0 on Will Venable. Venable a home run to provide the entirety of the offense for the Padres tonight. The home run came in the 6th inning. Got a hanging curveball that he hit out. A high fly ball that just landed on the roof of the scoreboard in right field. Ball 4. Chase Headley coming up. Let's see what Mark Stout's up to. Mark, did you start the wave, by the way?
I did not. It's coming by me right now. Hey, you were at the batting cage today, Drew, when Chase Headley was taking BP, and I just was talking to him. Today is his 10th high school reunion at Fountain Fort Carson. And you mentioned earlier he hasn't missed, what, one game this year?
Missed one game last year. He got hurt a little bit, but this year, and really 3 of the last 4 years, he's one of those steady Eddie guys. He
was lobbying sort of to Bud Black, hey, can I have a day off so I can go to my 10th high school reunion? And then he said he felt old, and I was like, you're not old, but you're not going to make it to it. I don't know if they're watching the game on TV, but it's happening down in Fountain Fort Carson. He was valedictorian, right?
He was valedictorian. Yeah. He had opportunities. We were chatting about this yesterday, Mark. He had opportunities to play in the Ivies. The place he really wanted to go was Stanford, one of the great collegiate baseball programs in the country and one of the great academic institutions in the world. And Stanford didn't recruit him. So he went to the University of Pacific initially for a couple of years, and they were getting their they were taking their wounds against the Long Beach States of the world, and he transferred to the University of Tennessee, and he now makes his home in Nashville. By the way, he was pulling for the Rams today. It's a base hit up the middle. I think he said his sister went to Colorado State. Two on, Carlos Quentin at the plate. Got to be careful here. You make a mistake to this cat, you can allow the Padres right back in the game. That's exactly what Jim Tracy's thinking. Belial's allowed only 4 home runs in 67 2/3.
Brothers back up for the Rockies. He was up earlier in the ball game, back in the 7th inning, with Chacin still in the game. Shouldn't take long for him to get loose.
This should be 2. Right on the bags, LeMahieu, and a fire dart to Pacheco. Matt Belial gets what the doctor ordered. A ball on the ground. A double play, and the Rockies go to the dugout. In the 8th inning, they have a 5-1 lead. Pacheco, Nelson, and LeMahieu, and Bud Black, after winning 5-4 last night, he's had to utilize several different pitchers tonight as Edinson Volquez gave him only 4 2/3. fourth pitcher out of their bullpen is Miles Michaelis. It'll be his 20th appearance.
3.0 earned run average over 24 innings, 19 ball games. Pacheco and Nelson will be the first couple of players he gets to visit with.
Jordan's 1 for 2 in a walk. He doubled in the fourth inning. And he's got a single here against Michaelis. That kid can just hit. Hit in the minor leagues. He hit it in New Mexico, where he was the Mountain West Conference Player of the Year. And he's hitting in the big leagues as a rookie. Hit last year when he came up.
Doug, can you tell me how many big league players have played at Nova Southeastern University in Fort Lauderdale, Florida?
Do you want to know it? There's been a couple.
Well, this is one of them.
Yep, there's been a couple.
2011, he's pitched at the two higher levels. He pitched at Lake Elsinore High A and then San Antonio for 28 ball games. Here he is in the big leagues.
There, in fact, I will tell you there's more than one out of Nova Southeastern in the big leagues right now.
Who is?
I just, you know, again, we deal with so many players. There's a kid out of Long Beach.
There's a kid named Giambi that's wanting to hit a little bit this inning, I think.
But I've seen that name this year. That school's name earlier in the year. This ball's well hit right center field by Nelly, and it is caught by Venable. Pacheco gets back to first. That was a wonderful catch by Will Venable, to the disappointment of Chris Nelson.
And it really is, because this ball running catch by Venable too, right in front of the Rockies bullpen.
So yeah, there's been 3 all time, and I told you there was 2 in the big leagues right now, because Rocky saw Mike Fiers recently, who's been doing a great job starting from Milwaukee, I believe. He's 8-6 with Milwaukee, and Fiers is out of Nova Southeastern. It's also, George, and you should know this, Troy Tulowitzki knows this. It's where the Miami Dolphins hold their training camp. Tulowitzki's a big Dolphins fan. Mayhew takes ball 1. Andrew Brown's on deck currently.
Yeah, Giambi was down there with a bat. Obviously, Brown's got one also. They have one left-hander in their bullpen, but no action in their bullpen.
Runner going, ground ball right on the bag, bobbled, safe. Everett Cabrera had it. He had a double play because of where the ball was hit, even though the runner was going, and instead the Padres don't get anybody.
Very similar to what they had earlier for DJ LeMahieu, an easy double play ball if fielded cleanly.
An error on Cabrera, and here comes the big man. Been a while.
That has been a long time. Jason Giambi swung about well in Double-A and Triple-A.
And a standing ovation for Giambi. And this is really nice to see, because all of these fans, so astute in their baseball knowledge, realize you don't know what's going to happen at the end of this season for the 41-year-old Giambi.
Yeah, a lot of scouts have told me he can still swing the bat, got a very good eye at the plate, still possesses power when mistakes made.
And Giambi off the end of the bat. This could be trouble, and Cabrera can't make the catch. And Giambi will have himself a broken back bloop single. He'll take it. And they're loaded up for Dexter Fowler.
Chatwood's going to come on and pinch run for Giambi, as he has the last couple of days pinch running. You take those base hits any way you can get them. Giambi got the bloop down the left field line and took advantage of it. Fastball away from him, off the end of the bat. Got to take off. Pacheco's got to go halfway. Cabrera's on the fly to try to get out there. Yeah, the Rockies struggled this year. Bases loaded. 230. Dexter 1 for 6.
High drive, deep right field. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. Grand slam, Dexter Fowler. First career slam for Dexter.
2 for 7 with bases loaded now for Dexter Fowler, but this second one, man, what a big one. After they booted a ball up the middle for the double play, Giambi gives the flip to left, and Dexter gives a huge fly to right. And it was huge.
13th home run for Fowler. And for Dexter, his first home run in 114 at-bats. Cabrera spins, and he throws out Josh Rutledge. Little doubt on this grand slam. That's a long flight.
Time you heard it hit the bat, you knew it was way out. Everybody else did as they looked up into the sky to watch it.
It's the 7th grand slam for the Rockies in 2012. Their club record is 8, set in 2007. Fargo hits it right into the shift. Cabrera will throw him out. And the Rockies will head to the 9th inning with a 9-1 lead. 7-1. Dexter Fowler, a grand slam. And the CSU Rams defense like a Ram truck today. Let's go to a CSU Ram alum, Jenny Kavnar.
I'm still smiling from ear to ear. You gotta love that win. You gotta love Dexter Fowler's grand slam. We'll get to that on the Toyota postgame show. Plus, we'll talk about lighting up Edison. Of course, that's Edison Volquez. The Rockies got to him earlier, including a Tyler Colvin home run for number 16 on this season. How about seventh heaven? Jolise Chassin going into the seventh, making it through the seventh. That's just the 12th time a Rocky starter has completed the seventh inning. And of course, we'll send you into the clubhouse. But Drew, Ithaca, they had a big win today too.
They did?
Yeah.
Who against?
I have no idea.
How do you know they won?
Did
you even check? Did you or Smart Stout check?
No, we're 1-0. I'm telling you. No. We are, you are. Joe Klatt's not.
The Bombers won today, huh? Bombers won a national championship in football not all that long ago. Give me that look, Frazier. Division III.
I think you're storytelling.
They've won it in baseball also.
How did they do?
I have no idea how they did today. Swung on and missed. Grandal with a 1-1 count against Carlos Torres. Well, the story of this game, yeah, the Rockies put 9 runs up. Tacos for everybody tomorrow from our friends at Taco Bell. Colvin a good day. Grand slam from Dexter, of course, but 7 tremendous innings from Jolise Chassin. Strike 3. And Grandal is gone. Here's the official reminder about tacos tomorrow. Rockies have scored 7. Go to Taco Bell between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special inside the state. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell.
24-0. Ithaca wins over somebody named Moravan. Huh? Moravian. Where's that?
It's where Moravian's situated. Idea. Is it Pennsylvania, Doug?
I think the last time Drew saw Ithaca was in his rearview mirror when he was heading out of there, heading to moving to Vail in 1988.
Hey, you want to know? Let me tell you what. The Bombers on this broadcast outnumber the Sooners.
Well, sure they do.
The Rams.
Yeah.
And the Buffs.
Thank you.
Right, Mark Stout?
Isn't that place in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, isn't that? You notice how that question's asked? Isn't that?
You know, when we were there, we didn't play them.
Division III powerhouse when we were there.
Absolutely.
Lost to Dayton, who moved up.
They moved down from 1A back then.
Got crushed that year.
Who went to Dayton?
But Ithaca won a national championship. You know who Ithaca beat in the national championship in baseball in Division III?
No.
Year before I got there, beat Marietta, the alma mater of Jim Tracy.
And Kent Colby.
So they won a baseball title the year before you got there?
And they won in football also, and then they had lost to Dayton. They got killed in the.
Yeah, it was like 51-0.
Yeah, I think it was 63-0. But Dayton had a bunch of Division I kids at that point. Line drive caught by Rutledge, 2 outs in the ninth. And Dougie's smiling now because Dougie's a Dayton Flyer. You know what? It's like Kevin Bacon's in the house. 6 degrees of separation. '91, Ithaca won the Stag Bowl. 34-20 over Dayton. Came back. Dayton was done cheating, playing with all the big-time players. Fouled off by Maben. 0-2, high 1-2. Likely rubber game tomorrow, George. Will feature the Padres' Casey Kelly against the Rockies' Jeff Francis. It'll be career start number 2 for Kelly, who's the number 1 prospect in a pretty deep Padre organization now.
It's gotten much better, obviously. They've been able to draft right. They've been able to make some trades and stack it up. The new ownership group coming in is going to have a pretty good foundation to start to work with.
2-2, strike 3, ball game over. May have been called out. A 1-2-3 ninth for Carlos Torres. A couple of punch outs as well, and the Rockies win it 9-1. Quick 9 innings tonight too, as Joely Chacín pounded the strike zone. Chacín with the victory, he's 2-4. Volquez takes the loss, he's 9-10. It is the shortest game of the year at Coors Field, 2 hours and 31 minutes. Tonight's delivery of the game brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery. Guys, how about co-deliveries of the game? Well, Chacín, magnificent 7 innings, and he threw only 72 pitches. Allowed a run on 5 hits, and Dexter Fowler, not to be forgotten, the grand slam that really put an exclamation point on this one, his first career slam. Visit JimmyJohns.com to find a location near you. The Rockies win it 9-1 over the Padres. We invite you to stick around. Coming up next will be the very pleasant Toyota postgame show. Kenny Cavnar